Yeah.
That's really good. Okay, Ethan, before we dive into sort of talking about musical things, there is one technical thing that I want to address with you, and that pretty much goes for all of us. Is that when you go to the higher register, you go with your whole body. It's not bad in principle, but the problem is, if you do that to play louder, you're actually doing something counterproductive, because when you bend forward, your chest goes in and the cello goes down. And what happens is you move the cello away from the bow. Okay? So subsequently you have to press harder if you go down. And then you feel like, oh, I have to put in more sound, and you go in more down. And so it's a downward spiral.
Yeah.
If anything, to push the cello against the bow. And that actually is an upward motion. Yeah? Now, this is easier said than done, because obviously there is the monster, the public, there is maybe parents with video cameras and all that. Please just let me do my thing, you know. So, because adrenaline kicks in this kind of situation, our muscle tension gets higher. Yeah? And one of the strongest muscles that we have is six-pack. Yeah? It grows into a one-pack. That's how strong we get with later years. And so, this muscle will contract very easily, as will the lower back muscle. So we'll do either this, or we'll overstretch and block. Yeah? And this is bad because we move the cello away from the bow, and blocking the lower back muscle is bad because this pretty much is our emotional center, and this is where all the motion starts for the arms. Yeah? So if I do a down bow, it doesn't start here, it doesn't start here, it starts at the lower back. Yeah? So it is good to have a strong core, but strong actually means able to be flexible without being floppy. Okay? It doesn't mean that we block something. So I write this into my music, where to go up. In Shostakovich, when I come to, I'm like, move up. And nothing is as hard as doing this. It's like pushing 200 pounds, yeah? Because my muscles are super tense. I'm pretty intense when I play. And anyways, and so to push up and push against the bow is actually a very conscious effort. So to write that in your music and to practice that when you're at home is actually a good thing, yeah? Because then it's not like, it's nothing worse than people telling you, hey, why don't you relax? I specifically remember first time going to a club when I was starting to study when I was 18, and this girl came up to me and she shook me and was like, hey, have fun, relax. And I was like, okay. So we need, in order for us to sort of move and to relax in a stressful situation such as a concert situation or a masterclass situation, we need to plan these kind of things, that here I need to raise my vocal cord. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because anyways, here, it's wonderful, you have your eyes closed and you listen to yourself, and it's really wonderful. But the tendency is just that you're going down a little bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, having said that, let's go from the beginning again.
All right.
You don't have the music for me, do you?
Oh, it's backstage.
It's okay, we'll figure it out. Yeah? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's super kind. Thank you. Super, thank you very much. Okay. Like in the classical period, and we're going to talk about this with Haydn, when we come to Haydn, there is a principle that's called cantabile sonabile. Cantabile is clear, it's singing. Sonabile is virtuosic. Now, we often think of a cantabile section as being its own thing, and sort of virtuosic section being its own thing. But, like in this piece, cantabile and sonabile are intertwined. Yeah? So we have sonabile, obviously, but then cantabile immediately. Yeah? That sounds to me still like it is part of the sort of virtuosic energy. And I think your task would be to switch between the virtuosic passages and the singing immediately. Yeah? Just because it sounds a little bit too technical. Yeah? And then, of course, let's think of a phrase. What note do we want to play towards? Which one?
The first one.
I think so too. I think I agree with you. Yeah. Yes, but the second D has a double function because it's so this is the first D. So the second D is a little bit softer, but actually it also leads to this upper part. Oh, so I like to think of some notes that have a double function. They have a function of ending something and then continuing on something. Yeah, it's not that the note just ends there because that would be a very short concert.
Yeah.
We could have dinner earlier. Yeah, great. Okay, one more time, maybe just directly. Is that okay? Don't just phrase the note off like this, but I think it has a little bit of a shape that is a little bit like a bell shape. Yeah, otherwise it's like, and we lose energy too early. You can take energy out by going down. This can actually take the energy out. But I think you should keep the energy on the note and subsequent singing until you leave the note. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's something that you need to practice really slowly, because when you play it, everything goes so fast. Yeah? So these are really small musical things that will enhance it exponentially, but you have to practice it slowly. Yeah?
Yeah.
So let's skip that part. You can do that at home and you just be a genius and do it right away. You can do it, man. Let's go directly from here. Why do them? And because we have the actual E flat. So can we maybe do this a little bit warmer? Something like that. It doesn't have to be an echo, but maybe just a different color. Yeah? Otherwise it's like there's so much to be found between the lines here. Before was very good. Can we go from... Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And there you have the full orchestra, yeah? Finally they get to play the theme. So, you know, you're being very kind. Yeah, but especially in that register, yeah? I don't know, what is it, all first violins or something like that? I don't know. Yeah. But they've just been waiting to show off, okay? So, you know, be generous and give them a space, but certainly keep the sound going. This is not a moment to take away your bass note, yeah? I wonder with this note, it sounds a little bit too hiccupy. I wonder if it can actually still be short, but instead of this, have a little bit of Paul, instead of ba. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that would mean that you have just a little bit more bow on the string and leave it a little earlier. Do you want to try?
Sure.
Did you do up or down for that?
I do down.
You do down, okay. Okay. Well, let's find out. Let's not take it off at all. Yeah, then. And then. Yeah, exactly. And then, so that would be to try. That's a little bit like the sound before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that there is enough meat on the bone, shall we say? Yeah. Try together just by yourself. And try different versions of that note.
I'm gonna start with like the hiccup one first.
Sorry?
I'm gonna start with like the hiccup.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, very good. Now, of course, dynamically we want to stay the same, right? So you just increase the substance of the note, but not necessarily the dynamic. Okay? And I love that you have a consonant at the beginning. That should not change. Yeah? It is just the material that is attached to the note afterwards.
Yeah.
That should be a little bit thicker, I think. Yeah? One more time, just to find that the perfect substance. Yeah. You figured it out yourself. It is, instead of using this much bow, it's using this much bow. Yeah? And immediately, if you become a little bit more generous in your bow, I also have a greater chance to breathe when listening to you, yeah? Because I felt a little bit breathless, just because it was going. It was very good, yeah? Don't get me wrong. But by giving me a little bit more bow, I feel like, you're being generous with me as a listener.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So I have a question.
Please.
So for this opening, I want it kind of to be like on the edge of your seat. You're a little anxious about something.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's kind of a little bit agitated with like an underlying just like excitement.
Mm-hmm.
So would like a longer bow stroke for that B flat, would that change the mood at all, or would it just change the substance?
I think what you are going for is in the 16ths. Yeah? Because I think if you do this is the palm, yeah, it can still be there, exactly the emotion that you want to convey, but I think it is found in something else.
Okay.
Yeah? Maybe even more so if you give us a little bit more substance on that first note, the 16th notes will be even more effective, and that emotional mission that you're on, which I think is great, will come out even more clear.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I don't think you're losing anything. I think if anything, with the difference in articulation, you will gain for your goal. Yeah. Do you want to do bar 13 one more time? This is where we started before. Alright. And really, all it is and don't forget, what sounds a little bit too massive here will be just fine out there. Yeah? There's a huge difference. I mean, I travel with a recording device all the time. Yeah? And I put it in the hall, and obviously not when I'm playing with the orchestra, because that is not legal. But don't tell anybody, please. I love coming to this country. But when I practice by myself and I have the recording device out, comparing what I think I'm doing and what actually arrives, it's vastly different. Yeah, and a teacher of mine once suggested that psychologically you should hang your ear about 9 feet out. Yeah, just imagine that because we can direct our sense of hearing, right?
Yeah.
Like if you are in a crowded room and there are a million people talking, you can look at someone and you hear what they're saying, and you can look at someone else and you hear what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
So if you direct your ear to, let's say, this pole or or a person, yeah, you will hear what sound is happening there. It's a phenomenon that I cannot explain. I don't know if anybody can, but it's true. Yeah? Yeah. So, take your ear and put it out there. And I'm just trying to advocate a longer note. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Sometimes it takes a longer story to Great. You want to do that one more time?
Sure.
Great. Send the sound to the very end, yeah? All these ticket holders, I mean, they're all here for free, but you know, they all got their ticket for free. So they you know, they all deserve the same sound. And so if you just, it will just be for you. But if you send the sound, yeah? Often when I play in a hall that seems impossibly big, and there are plenty of halls that are not made for cello, yeah? I pick a spot. You know, in Georgia concerto, you're okay. I'm gonna go for this, and I send my sound there. Yeah, I try not to crack my ball. That's why. It is so important to pick a place where you want to send your sound. Yeah, because we don't have the overtones of the piano. We don't have the overtones of the violin. Yeah, we need to set our sound. Yeah. And so when you come to, that's not sent, that is staying. Yeah? One more time, and I'm afraid then we will have to do the changeover probably. Yeah?
So start from the measure 13 again?
If you don't mind. Yeah, that would be great.
The same?
The same, yeah.
30?
Yes, please. Now we need to split the difference because now it was instead of I was missing the consonant. Yeah? So I mean it's a fine balance. That's why I'm saying, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. So it's finding that balance between the percussiveness of a note and the substance of it. Yeah?
Right.
I've been thinking about this all week with yeah? Because of course my instinct is that, but that will not travel to the end. So I need to put a little bit more meat to the bone. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's just the law of physics that the overtones just don't travel as easily as the der Grundton, you know, the bass note. I just know the German. We have to do the changeover. You've been great. Thank you.